Alright guys, so there it be. The CA with its new narrow front end on it, and don't mind the different color, especially in that area. It was the old paint, like that stuff was peeling off, and so I just did that with the paint that I used to paint the front end, which in reality, if you don't look at it very closely, you can really tell on video, but in person, with your regular eyes, you really can't tell there's a paint difference. But anyways, there it is. And it's pretty much done. I still gotta, there's like 3 things I gotta do. I gotta do that tire, which that's probably gonna be a next spring project before haying season kicks off. If you look behind it, I've already put it to use. I got the lift and boom on it, getting rid of the wide front for it. And then I don't know if probably gonna be another spring project is get 2 of the same size tires, because right now that tire is just a hair bigger than that one. So you can tell going down the road it wants to turn funny, and either way, right now it'll work just fine. So yes, and then at some point, God forbid, I got to go in there and see what's wrong with the hand clutch, because it slips under a load. Because I found that out, well, I knew it was always slipping, but I didn't realize how bad until I used it on the bush hog this summer when I had the 3-point hitch on it. And I could tell trying to go uphill it slipped. And then there's a plethora of other things I want to do to the tractor. I got to fix some oil leaks under there in the hydraulic system. The cylinders leak, and there's some other stuff under that leaks as well. And I think that's really about it, but I mean, there's not really a whole lot to say about it. And I mean, I would have got video of me tearing the tractor apart and putting it back together, but it was all late at night when I was doing it, and I didn't really feel like pulling out my phone. I just wanted to get the project done and over with, because the snap coupler was a fiasco. Because if you look, I don't know how well you'll be able to tell in the video, but if you look right where my fingers pointed, the piece that goes down for the drawbar, oh, and I still gotta mount the piece for the bell the latch and the bell up on there somewhere. I gotta make a bracket for that at some point, but again, next year when I'm using the tractor more, there's gonna be more whatever. But anyway, so there's a bracket up in there. Well, the bracket I need is completely different than the one that originally comes with the pin hitch for the CA. Luckily enough, we did have the bracket I needed. I didn't have to modify one of our part CAs to do it. But that was a fairly simple process. It just sucked that I was the only one doing it, because, well, that sucker's heavy, and so isn't that the front. It was a pain in the ass. I got it barely balanced on the jack. I got it up in there. This sucked. Now doing the narrow front was kind of the easy part, because you literally just have to take the radiator off, all the sheet metal, unhook that bolt right there, and there's 4 bolts. You can see one of the nut, well, bolt, that's studs. So there's a nut right there, and then on the upside there's a nut, and then on the other side there's a nut. I can literally just pull, I just pulled the wide front end off after I took those 4 bolts out, and just manhandled the narrow front end up in place, and that was that. I mean, it was fairly simple and self-explanatory. I mean, it was done and over with. Like, probably I had it all apart and started back together. It took me a course of 3 nights to do the front end, all about an hour at a time in the shop garage, tearing it apart and putting it back together. But there it do be. I was gonna leave the sheet metal off and pressure wash it today, but it's too damn cold to pressure wash all the grease and oil off of it, so I just kind of spritz it down with some degreaser and kind of wiped it down with a rag. There's still more I got to do, but that's, like I said, going to be a next year project. But yeah, and I mean, that's pretty much everything. I think there's a couple other things I want to do to it, like that right there. That bolt's broken for the cultivator mounts, which I was going to try to get that out the day I got this narrow front end up, but it's pressed for time, so I just said to hell with it. And honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I think I'm just going to drill it out and re-drill the hole and all that, tap it and so forth, instead of trying to, put a nut on that, because It's not quite flush, but it's flush enough that it's a pain in the ass to get a washer on it, so it might be just as easy to drill and re-weld. Drill it and tap it. Is there anything else? No, not really. Other than that, at some point I'm gonna try to do a video for you guys, like some more videos. I'm gonna try to get in the habit of uploading more videos, but then again, my time really doesn't permit very well. But there she do be.